On the 13th of February 1946, thousands of Australian troops, the vanguard of a 37,000-strong British Commonwealth force, disembarked at the war-devastated Japanese port city of Kure. Beekoff included contributions from India and New Zealand, in addition to Britain and Australia. Largely, though, Australians represented the Commonwealth, and Beekoff was always commanded by an Australian officer. In addition to enforcing the terms of the surrender, Beekoff was required to maintain military control and to supervise the demilitarization and disposal of the remnants of Japan's war-making capacity. To this end, soldiers from the Australian Army and personnel from the Royal Australian Air Force were involved in locating and securing Japanese military stores and installations. The intelligence sections of the Australian battalions were given targets to investigate in the form of grid references for dumps of Japanese military equipment. Warlike materials were destroyed, and other equipment was either retained or returned to the Japanese for destruction or conversion to civilian use. The Royal Australian Navy component of the force was responsible for patrolling the inland sea to prevent smuggling and the illegal immigration of Koreans to Japan. It was assisted by the Royal Australian Air Force, whose aircraft were also involved in tracking vessels suspected of smuggling or transporting illegal immigrants. By the end of 1946, the task of demilitarizing Japan required less effort, and the role of the occupying forces were changing, with guard duties and training becoming the main focus. By early 1947, the British Commonwealth Occupation Force had begun to decline, and by the end of 1948 was composed entirely of Australians. Over time, their role changed from being an occupying power to one of a protective power as Japan was rebuilt. Over the 7-year period from 1946 to 1952, about 16,000 Australians served in the British Commonwealth Occupation Force, which was finally dismantled as responsibilities in Japan were handed over to the British Commonwealth Forces Korea.